NovaHEART welcomes you to our latest explainer. Today, we're equipping teaching assistants and nannies with neurodiversity-affirming communication scripts. Whether you're managing 30 pupils in a bustling classroom or just trying to get two siblings out the front door, the way we speak to neurodivergent children can literally mean the difference between a really productive day and a total meltdown. So today, we're focusing on practical, low-effort, but highly effective scripts that you can start using straight away.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Shifting the neurodiversity mindset. 2. Unlocking tricky transition freezes. 3. The don't ask why rule. 4. The 3-step microprompt. 5. Discrete 1 to 5 check-ins. And 6. Mastering consistent co-regulation. What makes this explainer incredibly practical is our parallel approach. For every single technique we talk about, we're going to show you exactly how a TA applies it in a school scenario, followed immediately by how a nanny applies that exact same strategy in a home or community scenario. We're bridging the gap right between the classroom and the living room.
Number 1. Shifting the neurodiversity mindset. Before we get into the nitty-gritty scripts, we really have to address the foundation, the vital paradigm shift needed to move away from demanding strict compliance to actually supporting a child's underlying needs.
Let's look at this brilliant quote from Dr. Ross Greene. Kids do well when they can. Now this right here is the absolute cornerstone of everything we're covering today. It completely transforms the caregiver's mindset. When a child refuses to work or has a massive meltdown, our traditional reflex is usually to think, this child is giving me a hard time. But this quote shifts that perspective to the actual clinical reality. This child is having a hard time. They aren't just trying to be difficult, right? They're simply lacking the skills or the regulation in that specific moment to meet your expectations. It completely changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it?
And this brilliantly illustrates what's going on under the surface. Many neurodivergent children, particularly those with ADHD or autism, experience executive dysfunction. Think of it like a massive cognitive traffic jam. When they're overwhelmed by too many instructions, intense sensory input, or just a massive task, their brain simply unplugs. The system shuts down. Traditional commands like hurry up or do as you're told fail completely because, well, the child's brain is offline. So in those moments, you, the adult, must step in and basically become their external nervous system.
Section 2. Unlocking tricky transition freezes. The most common time you'll see this cognitive traffic jam is during transitions. Moving between tasks forces an ADHD brain to close one program and open a completely new one, which is a massive, heavy lift on working memory, and often causes a complete system freeze.
Let's look at our first TA scenario. It's transition time, coming from break time back to the maths desk. Shouting out, "Hurry up, everyone is ready," well, that just triggers instant panic and completion anxiety. Instead, try saying, "In 2 minutes, we close this book," followed by, "I need you to do 2 things. Put your pencil away, then stand by the desk." What are your 2 things? Do you see what we did there? Giving a really clear time warning and asking the student to repeat 2 distinct steps perfectly combats those working memory limits and gets them moving naturally.
Now, let's immediately mirror this with our nanny scenario. You need to transition a child off an iPad to sit at the dinner table. Barking, "Turn that screen off now," is quite frankly a guaranteed path to a meltdown. Instead, use clear, predictable first-then framing. Simply say, "First, finish your game, then we have dinner." This totally removes the friction. It provides a predictable sequence, letting the child's brain know exactly what to expect without feeling like they're abruptly being punished.
To truly understand why a child's brain freezes like this, whether at a school desk or the kitchen table, you need to understand how their environment acts as an extension of their brain. I've put a link in the card right now to our deep dive on the external nervous system, which you can watch after this. Number 3, the don't ask why rule. This is the next absolutely crucial rule in our toolkit, designed specifically to bypass demand avoidance and alleviate the sheer exhaustion of masking.
Have you ever asked a dysregulated child why they did something, only to get a totally blank stare or an angry outburst? So the crucial point is that asking why is almost always a trap. When a dysregulated child is interrogated with, "Why did you do that?" or "Why are you behaving like this?" they genuinely lack the language processing skills in that exact moment to explain themselves to you. The why question just feels like a massive threat, and it triggers what we call a safety narrative, which, unfortunately, adults often mislabel as lying. But they aren't lying. Their brain is literally just scrambling to give you any answer that makes the threat go away.
Let's look at the TA scenario for this one.
A student has a messy desk and hasn't started their work at all. Whatever you do, avoid asking, "Why is your desk a mess?" It's completely unhelpful and basically just invites an argument. Instead, totally bypass the why and simply prompt the student with a when-then statement or a redirect. Say something like, "What should you be doing now?" Or, "When your books are stacked, then we can start the math sheet." You are instantly resetting their focus onto the required action rather than dwelling on the problem.
In the home setting, here's our nanny scenario. We're addressing shoes and bags left right in the middle of the hallway. Asking, "Why are your shoes dumped here?" is just going to result in a shrug or a really defensive argument. We need to focus strictly on the required action instead of interrogating the behavior. Try saying, in a really calm voice, "When your shoes are away, then we snack." You're making the expectation crystal clear and pairing it with a very natural, positive next step. Moving on to Section 4, the 3-step micro-prompt. You know, sometimes the block isn't actually a transition, but the sheer overwhelming size of a task. When a child is faced with a massive demand, independent work often just stalls out completely, and that requires a specific scaffolding technique.
I want you to think of this 3-step prompt as a starter motor for a brain that's locked in executive dysfunction. Step 1, validate the freeze. Openly acknowledge that the task looks huge to lower their anxiety. Step 2 is the micro goal. Give them an absurdly small, ridiculously easy first step. And step 3, the anchor. Stay physically close to them while they complete that tiny first step to literally lend them your calm energy.
Here's how a TA uses this exact method for a student experiencing the dreaded blank worksheet freeze. Step 1, validate. This looks like a massive task, doesn't it? I get stuck sometimes too. Step 2, the micro goal. Let's ignore the whole page. Your only job right now is just to write the date. And step 3, the anchor. Perfect. I'll sit right here while you write it. Usually, once that date is written, the cognitive freeze thaws out, and they can keep going on their own. Now let's switch over to the nanny scenario. Your child has completely frozen up while trying to get dressed, totally overwhelmed by the morning routine. Step 1, validate. Mornings are really hard, aren't they? Step 2, the micro goal. Forget about the shoes and the jumper. Right now, let's just get your trousers on. And step 3, the anchor. I'll sit right here on the bed with you until your trousers are on. You're anchoring that moment before moving on to the next thing, like brushing teeth.
Section 5, discrete 1 to 5 check-ins. Now, many neurodivergent children suffer from rejection-sensitive dysphoria, or RSD. Because of this, public correction or drawing attention to their struggles can cause intense emotional pain. So we really must monitor their engagement and sensory input without causing any public embarrassment.
So, for a TA supporting a quiet, inattentive learner, maybe a girl who's daydreaming out the window, you definitely don't shout her name across the room. Instead, you use the quiet desk tap. You crouch down to her eye level so you aren't looming over her, gently tap the desk, and ask for a discrete 1 to 5 rating. Just say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much does your brain understand what we're doing? 1 is completely lost, 5 is an expert. It's entirely private and completely removes the shame of not knowing what to do.
And here is the mirrored nanny scenario. Say you're out at a busy park or a really loud supermarket, and you need to quickly gauge the child's sensory overload before a full-blown meltdown hits. Establish a subtle, pre-agreed hand signal check-in. You just catch their eye and hold up your fingers asking for a 1 to 5 rating on how overwhelmed they feel. If they hold up a 1, you know they're doing great. If they hold up a 4 or a 5, well, you know it's time to quietly leave without making a big scene. Finally, Section 6, mastering consistent co-regulation. Let's move to and see how this builds, because none of these brilliant scripts will work at all if you deliver them while you're stressed, angry, or frantic. These scripts are really only effective when delivered by a calm, regulated adult. Remember, when a child is dysregulated, they're fundamentally not processing language well. A calm physical presence is far, far more powerful than your words. So lower your body to their level to remove the threat of your size. Keep a really soft, neutral face, no glaring, no scowling, and move slowly and quietly. You are literally loaning them your calm nervous system so they can regulate their own. Because if we change the way we speak and interact, we can literally change how a child's brain processes the world around them. Ask yourself, are your words currently causing a traffic jam, or are they clearing the road? Now that you have the exact scripts to use at home and in the classroom, you need a structured behavior routine to back them up. Click on the video on your screen right now to learn the A.G.I.L. protocol, and I'll see you there.